What a powerful week here in Eretz Yisrael. We had the opportunity to pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice to give us the privilege of living, raising our families, learning Torah here in our own homeland. And we also celebrated the birth of the state of Israel, and may that be the critical step towards our ultimate redemption. We know that Parshat Tazria Metzora are important to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because if one takes the entire Torah, we find that Tazria Metzora is right in the middle. Not only is it located in the middle, but there are 26 Parshas before Tazria and 26 after Metzora, 26 being the numerical value of Hashem's name. So Hashem surrounds Tazria and Metzora. What message are these Parshas delivering that are so significant? So on the one hand, we could say it stresses to us the importance of the state of Tahara. Tahara and Tumah are not just, I accidentally bumped into the wrong thing, I entered the wrong room, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but rather Tahara is a value, is something that we should strive for. Because in order to stay Tahar, we need to always be aware of where we are, what our surroundings are, and what are we going to come in contact with. If our minds are always on, so then we have a fighting chance to accomplish Shavisi Hashem L'Nei Tamid, to always realize that Hashem is with us. The mission of a Jew is to appreciate the value of every single second. Every moment is an opportunity. We need to be on. Our minds need to be aware. At every moment, what opportunity does this present? What am I being asked to do? And what can I possibly accomplish and contribute to the world? The state of being in Tahara is significant. At the same time, we know that one of the reasons why somebody might get tzaras is because of the Aveira of Lashon Hara. This shows us the value to not speak Lashon Hara, how important that is to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How is it? It's so hard, it's almost impossible. How is it that we could go without speaking Lashon Hara? So I'd like to take three aspects of the Parsha. There are probably more, but we'll keep it at three, where the Torah indicates to us, sends us a message that through the Metzora process, what is it that we're looking for? What is it that we could find? How can we possibly beat this Aveira in order to not speak Lashon Hara? Number one, the Torah tells us in Parshat Tazria that if the Kohen comes and looks at the person afflicted with the tzaras, and all he sees is a tzaras, that the tzaras covers the person's entire body, so then instead of saying that that person is super tameh because he has tzaras on his whole body, instead the Torah says he's tahar. How can he be tahar? He's got the biggest nega tzaras out of anybody in the history of the world. But rather the Torah is teaching us that this affliction is not just, I want to punish you because you did something bad. Hashem is not petty and he's not doing tit for tat, but he's trying to teach us a message. What's this message? That if we look at somebody and we can't see a second side, but rather all we see is negative, we can't create in our mind a possibility that maybe I'm not holding all the cards, maybe I don't know all the facts. I think that I have this person judged down to a T, all I see is negatzaras, that person's not tummy, that person is tahar. Because our objective, what might help us to not speak Lashon Hara, is that when somebody does do something that we want to repeat to others, we need to consider, okay, wait a second, I saw negatzaras, but can I see something else? Can I see a tahor part of the person? If I can't see a tahor part of the person, so then I know that I am not looking correctly. Number two, when it comes to the house tzaras, the Torah tells us that the people living in Eretz Canaan, the Amoraim, buried their money, their values, their valuables, their treasures in the wall. And when a person digs out the neged tzaras from the house, so the person discovers the treasure behind the wall. This is strange. Why is the person who got tzaras, why is the person who spoke Lashon Hara, why are they being rewarded? Again, this is not about punishment and reward, but rather Hashem is trying to teach something. Dig out behind the neged tzaras. Look behind the negative. Look behind the bad of what we're seeing the person do. Because if we do that, so then inside, we will certainly find a treasure. And number three, the damage done by Lashon Hara. Part of the purification process after being a Metzora, the Torah teaches that the Metzora, needs to bring 2 bird carbons. Okay, that's fine. What's interesting is, while one bird carbon is brought on the Mizbeach, the other one is sent away. Why is the bird carbon sent away? Perhaps the message to us is clear, is that sometimes we say things without thinking. Maybe we say things, unfortunately, with thinking. But we feel like, okay, after I said it, it's gone. It's in the air. I don't see it. I certainly don't see the consequences sometimes. Maybe even the person that I'm speaking to, I'm not reading their reaction right. I think I just say something, it's out and it's over, and let's move on. But rather, the Torah is telling us that this bird, and the reason why we bring bird carbonos is because they chirp. And the problem here is that maybe we were chirping a little bit too much, but this bird carbon is sent away. Because when we speak Lashon Hara, we have no idea of the destination to where this is ultimately going to get to. Once it's out in the world, who knows? A free bird flying all over the place. Who knows where this is going to get and what kind of damage this is going to cause. So we see that throughout the Metzora process, Hashem is indicating to us hints about what we might pick up in order to have the strength and the wisdom to avoid the sin of Lashon Hara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us think before we speak, enable us to only build people up and not separate them, bring Klal Yisrael together, because then we could be sure that that first step in the Geula process that happened on He'ir will lead to an ultimate Geula. Have a great Shabbos.